Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group, RE/MAX Results. Welcome to Rochester Real Estate, featuring Robin Gwaltney from Gwaltney Group, RE/MAX Results, and Andy Brownell. Here's Andy Brownell on Rochester's News Talk, 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
Good morning and almost Happy New Year. It's Andy Brownell on News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM with Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group RE/MAX Results. Good morning, Robin.
Good morning. You got big New Year's Eve plans, Andy?
No.
Yeah, me either. It's just me and Dad tonight. Scott's in Kansas today for the Jayhawks game, so he'll be gone all day. Won't get home till around 10 o'clock tonight. We're just hanging out. Yeah, I know. I can't believe they do it, but they love it. Better them than me.
Yeah, for a basketball game. Well,
yeah.
To each their own, right?
Correct. And they usually get an exciting game, so it's usually worth it. But yeah, I think he'll be home to see the new year in and then ready for bed. And I'll be ready for bed too. It's heck to get old. And tomorrow I'm the most excited about the Vikings game.
So here it is. My days of staying up late on New Year's Eve are long gone.
Yeah, me too.
And
me too.
Sometimes I used to have to go into work at 4 o'clock in the morning on New Year's Day. So even when I was much younger, I was going to bed early anyway.
You know, I tell you what, I have always thought one of these days I'm going to get all dressed up and go out and celebrate on New Year's Eve. It doesn't thrill, the idea doesn't thrill me. It's usually cold out. It's not bad this year, but it's usually cold out. And then that just puts a damper on things. But, I've been thinking about this show and thinking about how the year has ended. It's wrapped up, right? Here we are. Next week, we're in 2023.
Wow.
So I know. And I listen back to some of my shows, and I know we talk about some of the same things over and over, but I think it's important because A, we don't always have the same listeners week after week, but B, the listeners that are listening on a regular basis often tell me that they are really starting to understand real estate and they really have learned a lot. So that makes me feel good. That means we've accomplished a mission.
I know I have learned a lot.
Well, I actually really would love to hire you. I think you'd be a great realtor. Sorry about that radio station. But anyway, truth be told, I think what I'm going to do next week, we'll talk today about some of the things that are going on, but I think next week I would like to start the year out with some really basic terminology and expectations for new buyers, even expectations for sellers, because I think some of the stuff that we take for granted, they really don't understand and they really don't know. And I know this because I meet with a lot of new buyers and I go to a lot of listing appointments, and it's kind of crazy how what I would just assume people would already know and understand, they don't. And it's just not their lane, right? So that's what I'm here for. And I think we'll start the year out for the next couple of weeks, just going over some real basics of real estate. So I'll just give the listeners a forewarning. So if that's something that they're interested in learning, like, when this agent asks me to sign a contract, should I be doing that? And what does that contract mean? And how does that obligate me, and what is the benefit to doing that versus not doing that? There's a lot of questions that I get from people. So I'm going to try to do some really basic tutorials, I guess I would say, and we can play those, and hopefully that would be a good way to start the year in just some basic real estate education.
It's almost like a community ed class. Sort of, yeah. But anyway, if that sounds good to you, I think that was just, okay. So I think for today, we'll just kind of, once again, talk about where this wild ride of a real estate market has been, especially this year. We all know that 2020, we had no idea what was going to happen. We were fearing for our livelihoods. Mayo Clinic was laying people off. We thought, oh my gosh, the real estate market is going to come to a halt. And then lo and behold, everything turned right around, picked up, and most of us had our best year ever. Then came 2021, and you couldn't have imagined having a better year than 2020, but I don't know about everybody else, but mine was something like 60% better than my best year ever. So 2021 was just off the charts. And 2022, I will say, was not as good as 2021, but it's because it has become more of a normal market, but it was an excellent year. And prior to the crazy 2021, it is definitely my best, 2022 was my best year ever. So real estate market is strong. And it is definitely not going anywhere. Everything is showing us that we still have a shortage of housing. Home values continue to increase. Looks like, from what I can tell, the interest rates are starting to calm down. I had some buyers that actually locked in on a 30-year conventional loan for less than 6%. This past week. So this is good. This is all good news. And I know if you read like national news, you'll see that the average is still 6.5, and maybe some people are getting 6.5. And also maybe they're saying the average because based on everybody's credit scores. But as you all know, the better your credit score, the better your rate. So, that's all tied very closely together. So anyway, I think people are calming down because we didn't see the rates go to 7.5. We didn't see the rates go to 8. I mean, we heard next week they'll be 8%, and they didn't make it there, thank goodness. And we've seen them, hold steady or drop slightly week after week. So I think people are starting to get, I know people are starting to get much more comfortable because I've been getting a lot of calls from people who want to jump either into the buying process for the first time or back into the buying process after they took a little hiatus.
Excellent. The one thing you said, too, I wanted to emphasize was you compared 2020 to 2021 and then 2022. And if you took out the 2021 year, 2022 would be your best year.
Oh, by far. And it was much better than 2020, which was really good. So, things are great.
And when you look at these stories I see in the newspapers or the television news or even the internet, let's say, any news site you see, the comparisons are from 2021 to 2022 where they're talking about the declines.
Exactly. And that is such a valid point because it's like if all of a sudden you're taking the highest point in the history of real estate and then comparing it to the next year and say, oh, things are down. Well, you know that old saying, what goes up must come down. Well, that's exactly right. Things could not have kept going at the pace they were going. And I said that week after week all year last year because pretty soon most people weren't going to be able to afford to buy houses, even with the rates fantastic. If they had to bid and pay $50,000 over, $70,000 over, $100,000 over, that was not for the weak. I tell you, that was some crazy stuff.
And and you have often said you welcomed the return to normalcy because it gives the buyers that period of reflection before they have to make the big decision, and the sellers, it gives them a little time to get their things in order.
And you know what? I'm going to tell you with my little crystal ball, I'm going to tell you right now is a huge opportunity for buyers because of everything that is in the media. There are still plenty of people out there that are buying into it and saying, oh, geez, the values are going to go down. We can ask, the sellers are thinking we're going to have to give money off of our price. I was at a listing appointment yesterday and he said, what would you recommend for a price? And I said, $650. And he said, but we won't get that, right? And I'm like, whoa, where is this coming from? I'm like, no, we will get that. That's the right price. If you overprice it, you're not going to get what you're asking. But if you price it right, you're going to get it. But my point is that it's kind of the general consensus now that everybody's going to be able to negotiate a better price. And guess what? A lot of people are doing just that. In the last month, I have gotten people as much as $25,000 off, $15,000 paid in closing costs, $15,000 paid in a 2-1 buy down. We have negotiated some good deals. But guess what? I don't think that's going to last forever. I think by March, it'll be right back to, here we go again. Rates have settled down. We all feel really confident. We realize that rents are higher than they've ever been. What did I tell you? National average $2,000 a month for rent.
That's
people,
crazy.
It is crazy. People are going to realize, you know what, I better buy. And then all of a sudden they're not going to get their closing costs paid or their $10,000 off or their anything, because we're going to get right back into more of a, yep, you're going to pay what you're asking. Hopefully, I mean, sellers are probably listening and disagreeing with me, but hopefully not back into the, I've got to outbid the other guy by quite a lot of money to get the house, because that's what got us to where we are.
Yeah.
Okay. So
We do have to take our break already. So
all right.
It is that time. We'll be back in just a moment with Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group RE/MAX Results on News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
We'll be right back with Robin Gwaltney and Andy Brownell on Rochester Real Estate. This is News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
Testosterone levels.
Rochester Real Estate with Robin Gwaltney from Gwaltney Group RE/MAX Results and Andy Brownell on Rochester's News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
Welcome back, everybody. And again, Happy New Year. A little early. Robin Gwaltney with Gwaltney Group RE/MAX Results. Now I lost my train of thought. I know what I was going to ask you about. The folks who are renting and paying these, to me, insane rental prices. I would think that it would be fairly easy to convince them of the right path into home ownership and purchasing.
Correct.
Is that what you see when you talk to folks?
Most times. I mean, renting is perfect for some people, because some people want to be ready to pick up and move the minute they're ready to pick up and move, and they don't want the hassle of selling their house. Okay. So if that's the way you feel and you say, hey, when I'm done here, I want to be out and I don't want the hassle of selling the house, and I know that I'm paying rent and I'm not making any money, and instead I'm not building any equity. Instead, I'm just throwing my money out the window to live somewhere safe, dry, and warm. Okay, that's fine. Or some people say, I'm going to do this very short term. I'm going to be in Rochester 1 year. It's not worth me going through the hassle of buying and then turning around and selling the house. Okay, that might make sense. Or I'm only going to rent for a year while we're building our house. Or
Sure.
Sometimes I get people that say, I want to come to Rochester and I want to rent for 6 months so that I can get a lay of the land,
Yep.
See where my kids are going to be involved in things, just to find which neighborhood is going to be best suitable for us based on their activities, their choice of school, etc. So those are the kind of things. There are times where renting is 100% absolutely necessary. But for people who just settle in and think, oh, I don't think I can afford to buy a house, or it's too big of a hassle to go house hunting and move, I'm comfortable here. Those are the people that I really love to sit down and have a conversation with, because so many times they have no idea how easy it would be for them to be approved and to buy a house. And furthermore, they have no idea that their house payment is going to be the same as what they're paying for rent, sometimes less. And they have no idea just how much wealth they are going to build over their years of home ownership that they are absolutely not doing while they are renting. So, I mean, those people that are renting for no other reason than that's how they started and it's become convenient, and they have thought about buying a house, know that they probably should buy a house, those are the people that I need to call me, because I am positive that, after a 30-minute conversation and education, that you are going to be filling out a mortgage application and moving forward with the home buying process.
Yes, I agree with you 100%. I always said with the millennials, when the big prediction came that they would never own homes, this is the new generation and things are going to be different. I said, well, wait until they hit the mid-30s.
Yep, exactly. And they want that big dog, and they want those kids, and they want that yard, and all of that looks so great. And those fancy, oh my gosh, some of those rentals are so fancy, and they have just the craziest things. Like they have rooms with a golf simulator that you can just reserve and go in and use, and your fancy workout rooms, and your fancy little make your own latte or whatever. They have all the things that they're drawing. But if you do the math, guys, honestly, the money you're paying for the rent, you can go join any membership you want at any gym. You can stop anywhere you want for your fancy coffee, so it sounds great. And like I said, renting is a great solution for a certain contingent of people, but it certainly shouldn't be anyone's long-term plan from a financial aspect. It's just not the best way to invest your money, for sure.
And if you look at the interest rates in that light, it doesn't really matter where the interest rates are.
It absolutely does not. You're absolutely right, because guess what? Your profitability in renting is always going to be the same, 0. You're not going to make any money. You're not going to build any equity. You're not building your wealth. Your rental is not your bank account that you live in. Your home is.
I still remember when I was 26 or 27 years old, lying in bed, doing the math in my head as to, okay, I'm paying this much in rent, and how much would it cost for this, to buy this? And then I kept coming back to exactly what you just said. I no matter how much I paid in rent, there's no equity here. There's nothing.
Right.
When I make this move 2 years, 3 years, 5 years down the road, I'm going to enjoy quite a bit of additional wealth.
And if you think about why rentals ever started, rentals were like sort of the sub-housing choice. Rentals were for the people who could not afford to buy a home. And that has shifted because many, many people who are renting can most definitely afford to buy a home. And it's just became, and of course, these people who own these expensive, high rent buildings are not dummies. They spend a lot of money for marketing to make it very glamorous to live in these rentals, because these rental owners are becoming very, very, very wealthy. And so, of course, they're saying this is the way to go. It's so easy. It's so stress-free. Well, there's truth in that, because everybody's not cut out for home maintaining. Some people are just far too busy. I mean, I sell houses to young doctors who work crazy hours during their residency and their fellowship, and I often tell them, you are much better off in a townhome, so that you're not worried about your windows and your siding and your roof and maintaining things that you basically don't have the time to do.
Sure.
So there are housing options. Yeah. Exactly. So it is the best of both worlds, because you can still get a home that you own and you're building equity and you're building wealth, but you don't have to maintain it. So you do have that same simplicity that you have when you're renting from somebody else. So like I said, there's a great conversation to be had with anybody who is finding themselves renting for no other reason than it's just where I've been and it's convenient.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll take another quick break here, Robin, and we will return in just a moment. Robin Gwaltney Group-RE results. News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
We'll be right back with Robin Gwaltney and Andy Brownell on Rochester Real Estate. This is News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
Low-Fees Holiday Sweepstakes
to Real Estate with Robin Gwaltney from Gwaltney Group-RE Results and Andy Brownell on Rochester's News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. Robin Gwaltney Group-RE Results. And during the break, Robin, you mentioned you have some new listings to talk about.
Well, yeah, and you want to know something that's kind of ironic? I was just talking about if you don't want to maintain a house, then you could always go for the option of a townhome. Well, I've got a couple of new townhomes on the listing. Not new in the sense of new building, but new listings. One is 85 Connor Circle Southwest. And if you don't know where Connor Circle is, you go right up that Wimbledon Hills off 2nd Street.
Yes.
If you're heading like towards the country club, it'd be off to the left and up the hill.
Yes, nice neighborhood up there.
Oh, it's such a nice neighborhood, and it's just a really nice little cul-de-sac full of townhomes. And this particular unit is a 2-bed, 2-bath. It has a 2-car garage, and it is just under 1,200 square feet, 1,196 square feet. It was built in 1995, and it is
going for $274,900.
Oh, nice.
$274,900, yeah. And you could walk down the hill, and there is the shuttle to Mayo if you don't have parking privileges. So it's perfect. I've sold a lot of those to young Mayo professionals, and they absolutely love that location. This one is another townhome that is out in Casson, actually. And this one is 610 2nd Street Southwest. And this one is built just about the same time, 1996. This one's been completely updated inside, so it does not feel like 1996 at all. As a matter of fact, it's a really open floor plan, and it's lovely. And the people who are selling it are a retired couple, and that's who I see moving back in there again. But, I'm not necessarily saying that's the only person it would appeal to, but it's perfect because it has hard surface floor. So if anybody has a walker or a wheelchair, it's great for getting around. And it's, like I said, a big wide open space. It's a 2-bed, 2-bath. Again, 2-car garage. This one's a little smaller. It's about 1,250 square feet, and it is $229,900.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so we're talking, no lawn care, no outside maintenance, no snow removal, all of those things that somebody else can take care of for you. It's got really big windows, natural lighting. It's lovely. It just came on the market. It's been on the market just a day. So I don't think it's going to probably last long, especially at $229,900.
No.
But there you go. 2 townhomes for those people who would rather build equity than pay rent and still have very little to maintain. So easy living. All right. And if that's not what you're looking for, and instead you like a house, well, we've got another new listing that is a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, built in 2022. And it is 1,562 square feet on the main. So it's a total finish of 3,074. Has a 3-car garage. Yeah, it's a big garage, a big house. It's a beautiful house. And this one is $614,900, and that's 43 13th Street Northeast in Byron.
Okay.
All right, so those are my newest releases. We still have some other great listings, and I've been to quite a few listing appointments recently, so we've got some more great ones coming. So the market is good. To recap, great time to buy, great time to sell, and we are here to help you. So please, 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 if you want to learn more about the Gwaltney Group, check out our website, which is gwaltneygroup.com, or call me on my cell phone anytime. That number is 507-259-4926.
And when you say call you, that doesn't necessarily mean I'm ready to jump into the market right now. You're willing to talk to people who are a ways out, and maybe. Oh
my gosh! Any question. I often say, if you're moving to Scottsdale, Arizona, or Jacksonville, Florida, or Austin, Texas, anywhere you're going, I have realtor friends there. So if you say, oh my gosh, instead of just going into this blind, I don't want to just cold pick a realtor. If you're somebody I know and trust, and you know somebody that you know and trust, and you can connect me with that person, please do it. So even if you're somebody that's moving out of town and you want me to hook you up with a realtor somewhere else, call me. Anything that is related to real estate in any way, shape, or form, I will take your call and I will help you to my best ability.
All right, and I look forward. Next week we're going to start. We haven't got a title. Real Estate 101, maybe.
Yes, some basic education. Yes, absolutely.
All right. I look forward to that.
All right. Happy New Year.
Get down. Yeah, Happy New Year, and go Vikes. How's that?
Go Vikes. Yes.
That's Robin Gwaltney with Gwaltney Group RE/MAX Results on News Talk 1340, KROC AM, and 96.9.
The most dangerous day for a baby is the